On June 30th, 2021, the Division I Board of Directors approved a new name, image, and likeness, or NIL, policy. This has since allowed all NCAA D1, D2, and D3 student athletes to be compensated for the use of their NIL, regardless of whether their state has an NIL law in place or not. In this YouTube video, I'll be talking with two sports journalists at Arizona State, Kenji Ito and Julian Casciano, about their take on the matter 9 months into this new policy. First up, I have Kenji with me. Kenji, how long have you been studying sports journalism?
My passion really started for sports journalism back in 8th grade, but I really got on the hands-on work back in my junior year of high school.
Okay, and now on to the topic of this video. With athletes like Bryce Young at Alabama making up to $1 million in NIL deals, what are your thoughts on the new NIL policy for NCAA student athletes?
I think it's great because, these college athletes are also students at the same time. So technically they're working like a job, basically. And, you should get paid for a job. And, like a lot of these a lot of college athletes don't make it into the big leagues. So, this is their one chance to make,
Right.
6 figures before, either going big or getting a degree and working a normal job.
Absolutely. Do you have any criticisms of the way the policy has worked out so far, 9 months into this new regime?
Well, I think that the only criticism I have is that it can get too out of hand. Bryce Young, as you said, he made $1 million, but you don't want to get it to a point that they're making NFL money or NBA money, like getting $3 million deal just because of a poster they sell.
Right.
It can easily get out of hand, if you know what I'm saying.
All right, guys, here I have Julian Casciano, a freshman at Arizona State. He is also majoring in sports journalism, and we're going to keep talking about the new NCAA NIL deals. Julian, 9 months into this deal, what are your takes on it?
So for the NIL deals, you have two sides of the coin, right?
Right.
So we have the benefits, which is college players are beginning to get paid now, and they're actually getting paid in full. For example, in the Trevor Lawrence story a couple years ago,
Right.
when he funded over $60,000 for Hurricane Harvey relief,
A good cause.
and the NCAA took that all away because he couldn't make money on
Right.
the current. Obviously, there was no deal at that time. But then there's the other side of the coin where it's maybe not beneficial for recruiting.
Right.
So, for example, Texas A&M is a team that's not usually number one in recruiting in college football, but they are number one in recruiting
If you just
this season.
throw a bunch of money at recruits and say, come here now.
So, do we really want the NIL deals involved in recruiting, or do we
Right.
want the NIL deals involved in players actually playing their best? For example, would we want to pay the Heisman winner $15 million?
Right.
So it's obviously it's a big gray area at this point, but I
Right.
think there are two sides of the coin right now.
Once again, Julian Casciano explaining perfectly the benefits and non-benefits to the NIL deal. Thank you for your time, Julian.
Soundstripe.